Now, we haven't had the normal scraps we'd expect at a Labour Party conference. In fact, the only thing people have been moaning about is an EU treaty referendum. Gordon Brown's under pressure from people within his own party and also from the press. This fringe meeting on the issue of the referendum wasn't exactly packed, but there were some pretty strong feelings being expressed.
The majority of people in Britain share the view that we should make that decision ourselves. You know, all this talk this week about democracy, we want to participate, but on a really big matter like that, which affects the future of this country and our government, not to allow people to have a say is a mistake, I think.
There are claims that there's substantial support among Labour MPs.
The maximum we'd have about 120, but when push comes to shove, and if people have to vote, that will shrink, and there we might be down to about 40 or 50.
Mr Brown will be mindful of the high-profile media campaign for a referendum.
We were promised a referendum. The people of Britain were promised a referendum in the 2005 election campaign. We believe we are now entitled to a referendum, and we are supported not just by the vast majority of our readers, but by people both in politics and out of politics, across all parties, in the trade union movement, in the Labour Party and the Liberal Democrats. And I think that Gordon Brown actually needs to honour the promise he made to the people of Britain when he launched his leadership campaign and said that he would abide by the manifesto as a matter of honour.
In the face of such pressure, will Gordon Brown cave in?
He'll be listening to his backbenchers and he'll be reading what the newspapers say, and he obviously wants to keep the newspapers on side as much as he can. But I think at this stage he'll judge that the pressure he's under he can withstand and that he doesn't need to give in to it, and he'll be doing everything in his power to make sure that it stays that way, because the last thing he wants is a referendum.
So we've finally had a little bit of dissent just to mix things up at this conference. But despite all the pressure, Gordon Brown appears determined to stick to his guns and not agree to a referendum.